So if you can't already tell, it is absolutely fucking freezing here in the UK, hence why the beanie's on inside. But it is now the 7th of January and we are getting fully stuck back into training. It's Wednesday, so this is the third kind of proper day of training back. And yes, terrible, we've still got our Christmas tree up, but it's one of those jobs where you're just like, every night you want to take the Christmas tree down and then you just like cannot be bothered because it's just a mission. But we will have to take it down this weekend. But that's another point. Today we're going to the track and yeah, we're going to do a 3K time trial, which I'm quite nervous about. But before that, I'm going to have my pre-workout snack and I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to have a coffee, probably do a tiny bit more work, and then we're going to walk over to the gym, or to the track rather, from there. So stay tuned, let's get stuck in. So it is now about 1 hour before I'm due to go and meet Chaz at the track for the time trial, and I'm gonna have what will be my final coffee of the day, but my last caffeine hit before said time trial. You always want to make sure you're timing your caffeine appropriately. If you have it like 15 minutes or just before you train, that caffeine's not going to get in your system quick enough. So give yourself a bit of time for the caffeine to actually get into your bloodstream by having it a little bit earlier. And then also before any run, I have a very short coffee because one, I don't want to have to stop and pee, even though I always do anyway. And two, I want it to get into my system faster. Oh baby, the nectar. We're gonna let that pour and we're gonna talk you through the pre-workout snack. All right, look at that. That is a beauty. Whilst I was making the coffee, I have put one slice of sourdough in the toaster. Now sometimes I have crumpets, sometimes I have sourdough, just depends. I'm gonna have one slice of sourdough. If it was crumpets, I'd have 2 crumpets with 20 grams of just regular honey and then a banana as well. Now what I normally do is while the toast is toasting, or the crumpets are toasting, I will just smash the banana. But look at that. But today I am also actually filming for Instagram a full day of eating, which I always forget. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna put my banana on the plate. Avec le toast. And make sure I remember to get a clip of that. So there we have it. That is the pre-workout of choice. How appealing does that look? Right, one slice of toast, a whole banana. I could make it look nice and aesthetic and, you know, try to put like slice up the banana nicely, put it over the bread, spread the honey, but you know what? As they say, this is real, guys. This is the real thing, and legit, this is how I'm gonna eat it. Obviously pairing that with my coffee as well. So we've got this. As I say, it is about 55 minutes now until we meet Chaz. I'll be starting my run in 55 minutes-ish, but you know, we'll do a warm-up, we'll rest a little bit, and then we'll get stuck into the actual time trial. I'll probably talk a little bit more about why I'm doing a 3K time trial in the walk to the gym, or the track. In that case, I'll see you there. Alright, so why am I doing a 3K time trial test when my goal is to run a sub 60 Hyrox? Well, I had a call with my coach Harvey yesterday and we decided I was going to do 2 tests this week, one of which is being the 3K time trial. The other we'll talk about another time. And the reason for this is because 3K is a very good distance to run to see, to measure roughly what my pace can be for a race like Hyrox. Because if you think about the goal of Hyrox and what it is, it's essentially 1K repeats at a pretty hard pace. But it can't be so hard that it's completely unrepeatable, right? Because if it's completely unrepeatable, then I'm going to go into a station and I'm going to be knackered, and then that's it, game over. My next run will be really slow. So what we're looking for is a test that can kind of help me get a really good idea of where my threshold is going to be. So the pace that I can hope to try and sustain on race day, including all the stations. So today we're doing it's probably going to be somewhere between 12 and 13 minutes. So it's still an aerobic test, but it's right at the top end
right at the threshold of that aerobic level. So that's what we're doing today, 3K time trial to see where we're at. I'm unsure at this point in time as to whether he will ask me to repeat that again closer to race day, but if he does, then we'll do it there and we'll see how much I improve. But for now, that's where we're at, and yeah, probably about 10 minutes away from the track, and the nerves are kicking in. This is going to be a hard session. I just know, like, anything that's this short in duration is always fucking hurts, you know. You get more nervous for this than I would be for like a half marathon, because a half marathon you just kind of settle into pace and go, but this, you don't have time to fuck around, you got to send it from the start. So wish me luck.
How you feeling?
Nervous.
Nervous?
Nervous.
Get a little bit shaky?
Oh, more than a little bit shaky. No, I think this is going to be hard. I said this on the cliff on the way here, I was like, you just know it's going to suck. Even if you did like a half marathon would probably suck less than this, because this is, there's no time to fuck around. You have to just go from the start, but you can't go too fast, otherwise you're really fucked. So
what is it, 7 laps?
7.5 laps. So I'm thinking I'll start down there, because in my head I always just have it as like, I'll count here, so I probably just won't count the first half lap and then just count 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
What's the strategy? What's the pace?
Well, I think it has to be under 4:25, like average. I would optimistically, if it was the best possible situation, I'd maybe say 4:15, but I don't know if that's in the cards today. We'll see. 2 kg heavier than I was. So that's what I'm going to blame, but we'll see. I think definitely under 4:25, somewhere between 4:15 and 4:25. We'll see what the outcome is. All right, 1.2K warm up. Nice cruisy, and then some stretches, some leg swings, some plyos, and we send it. Man, I'm nervous. Warm up, done. Feel good. Almost reluctant to say too much in case it goes to shit, but nah, I think we'll be good. You know, we'll just go through it. I was saying, you know, the reason why this is a good test and that we decided on this is just because it will give a good indication of like what paces I could potentially hold at Hyrox now, because it's been the best part of a year since I've done one. I know I'm faster, so after having done today, it just gives us a good indication as to what paces I should be running at in training. A few 50-40 meters at pace.
At pace.
Well, we'll see. So we're about to start. I am gonna do obviously 7.5 laps. I'm gonna just base it off of roughly per kilometer. So I'm gonna start off first 50 to 100. I'm gonna try and get like ever so slightly ahead of pace, as classic Blaz fashion does. And then I'm gonna try and settle into like
sprint the first 200.
Yeah, 4:25-ish for the first K. Depending on how I feel after the first K, maybe, and then try and see if I can pick up by 5 seconds each K. If I'm knackered, also I'll just try and hold on to where I'm at, but I'm pretty confident the first K, 4:25, I'm pretty comfortable. Move to 4:20, try and move to 4:15. Maybe rearrange that a little bit as we go, but I think that's a pretty good tactic rather than just trying to send it from the get-go and gassing.
Oh yeah. This is the running equivalent of your Echo Bike sprints.
Yeah, pretty much. Just start 10 calorie sprint for a 30-minute max cal echo.
I'm just gonna get ahead of the 3K time trial.
Man, when I did that 30-minute thing, that was hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Sprint the first 100 cals.
Alright. Song choice, the important part.
What are you going with? Eminem?
I'm gonna go for some like doof doof.
Yeah, Techno Bunker.
Nah, maybe not Techno Bunker. I actually found a really good remix of Sending Out an SOS. I'm gonna do that into a remix of E.T. by Katy Perry. But like a Benny Benassi remix. And then, maybe to finish off, a bit of gimme, gimme, gimme your man. Like, come on, last K. Last K. Got the heart rate strap on.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's your prediction for your max heart rate here?
Oh fuck. whatever I think a new max will be set. I reckon I'll be up at like 170 something by the end. If I'm not, I don't think I've done it right. So yeah, it'll be high. But that's kind of what we want, what we expect. Or do I need anything else? I don't think so. Just luck.
Well. Scores on the doors?
4:11 average pace, 12:34 total, so beast. I'm really happy with that. Actually, yeah, literally since the very first lap and a half, I was already at like 4:10, and it felt very comfortable. I knew I wouldn't sustain that necessarily the entire time, so I was at 4:10, and then probably the second half was more averaging around 4:16-ish, and then obviously the last lap picked up again just to cut off some time. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with that because I didn't expect it. A little bit heavier than normal, haven't ran quite as much the past sort of couple of months, so very good.
Happy days. What were your thoughts heading into the final lap?
Honestly, my honest thought when I got here, I was like, fuck, I could have gone a bit faster. Because actually I was like, I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not like fucked. And I kind of thought I would be, but I reckon I couldn't have picked up much more, maybe the last 800, picked up a little bit more, but lessons learned, still happy with that. Probably the fastest 3K I've ever done in my life, so fair play.
And then the progressions off the back of this, what are they doing again? Hyrox.
Yeah, so progression wise, this will now just be a good indicator of my pace. So I'm like, okay, if I can hold 4:11 for a 3K continuous run, I can probably estimate my Hyrox pace for the 1K runs to be around about between 4:20 and 4:15 and 4:22 or something like that. So now when I'm training, I'll have that pace in mind for the runs in between stations, and obviously I'll try and progress that to get it faster as well.
Oh yeah, you reckon you got a 5K PB in the locker?
I reckon if I probably could have kept that for 5K. It would have been hard, obviously, but I reckon I could have kept it. My current 5K, I want to say, is like 21:40 something. I can't remember what pace that is. 4:22 or something. So I reckon I could have had a 5K today, but I'm glad it was only 3. All right, now that my legs have actually had a few minutes to recover, I say a few minutes, probably been like 10. Just gonna do an extra few laps and be like another 3K, cool down, just get a little bit of extra volume in so that I've done more than a 3K run today. One more lap, and that'll be 7K total. All right, so cool down done. Honestly, I just felt like 3K alone, even though it was hard, and my calves were feeling that on the cool down. Just want to get a bit more volume in, so just did another basically 3K around the tracks to get a bit of volume. Tomorrow, upper body, Friday, lower body, and then Saturday we've got our second test, which I'll talk about in another video. But yeah, today was good. I'm just pleased with how that went, and I'm excited for the next block of training. We officially kick off the new training block on this coming Monday, the 12th of Jan, with Harvey. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it and just progressing over the next 10 months to that sub 60 Hyrox Pro.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Oh, there you go. Don't forget. No, I feel like I always forget to say like and subscribe. Don't forget. What am I saying?
I'll put all of them.
What am I saying? Yeah, just
I'll put them all in.
Just put it, whatever you do, please like and subscribe, so I don't have to keep doing this. So as I was doing the cool down, I was just kind of like remembering that I have actually done a 3K time trial before, and it was when I lived in Bangkok and I went to an international school there, and me and my friend Hamish were the only two in my year. We were in year 10 at the time to make the varsity rugby team because we were just absolute units. And there was 2 tests you had to do. You had to do a 2K row and a 3K run. And I remember I've always been decent at rowing. I don't know why, but I hammered the row. I was in like probably the top 5 in the row, and then the run, I think I was like behind the props. I was so slow. And I remember doing it in the baking heat in like the middle of the day in Bangkok, just like running around. It was a 200-meter track as well. It just felt endless, and I was getting lapped by so many guys. So as I was doing my cool down, I was like, do you know what? I'd fucking lap them now. Anyway, I thought it was quite funny for me.